I will defend her. The courtroom froze as every head turned toward the man in the back, dust on his sleeves, a folder in his hand, and a fire in his voice that cut sharper than any lawyer's. Vanessa Sterling, seated at the defense table with mascara streaked down her cheeks, turned slowly, confused. The man wasn't her lawyer. That man had stormed out just minutes earlier, slamming his briefcase shut after accusing her of withholding the truth. But now, in his place, stood Elliot, a quiet, grey-haired maintenance worker most had barely noticed. Or so they thought. The judge demanded to know who he was, and Elliot stepped forward, calm and certain. He said he was a U.S. Army veteran, a man who, 20 years ago, shielded Vanessa's father from bullets in a remote village in Afghanistan. He didn't ask for applause. He never expected a reward. But when he saw Vanessa abandoned, betrayed, and about to be sentenced for a crime she didn't commit, he couldn't stay silent anymore. No one knew that Elliot had been watching this case unravel from the shadows. He wasn't just cleaning up the halls of Sterling Tech's headquarters, he'd been picking up the shredded pieces of the truth. Quite literally, a month before the trial began, he'd found a half-destroyed financial document in a trash bin marked for legal disposal. Something about it didn't sit right. Late at night, in a supply closet lit by a flickering bulb, Elliot began piecing together what no one else cared to see. The truth was brutal. Vanessa's fiancé, Brandon Chase, had orchestrated the entire fraud. He'd siphoned millions from company accounts and forged Vanessa's approval at every turn. The money trail led to offshore accounts, secret properties, and exit plans he never intended to share with her. And yet, all of it pointed back to her, because he made it that way. Vanessa had walked into court thinking love had betrayed her. She had no idea how deep the knife went. Elliot presented the judge with the recovered evidence, original financial transfers, time-stamped security footage, and handwriting analyses that didn't match Vanessa's, but matched Brandon's perfectly. He hadn't gone to law school, but he knew what a cover-up looked like. He'd seen governments lie, soldiers fall, and leaders abandon their men. And this felt the same. As he spoke, the courtroom shifted. The prosecution, once confident, began to falter. The evidence was real. The timeline was airtight. And the man presenting it wasn't some crank looking for attention. He was a decorated veteran who had once been left behind and had sworn never to let that happen to someone else again. Vanessa sat motionless, tears brimming. Her entire life, people had either chased her wealth or hated her for it. But this man, this stranger, was defending her for reasons she couldn't yet understand. Then he said it. He'd made a promise to her father all those years ago. A promise to protect the family if the time ever came. And in all the chaos of war, broken bones, and forgotten medals, that promise had never left him. The judge, visibly moved, dismissed the charges against Vanessa. Reporters in the back rushed to break the story before anyone else. The headlines would write themselves, "Veteran saves billionaire heiress, in courtroom twist." But as the crowd erupted into stunned applause, Elliot quietly turned to leave. That's when Vanessa rose and stopped him. She asked him why he did it, not just the evidence, not just the court appearance, but why he still cared. And Elliot, eyes tired but unwavering, told her it was because people like him are used to being invisible, used to promises that evaporate. But something in him refused to let her fall the same way he once did. In the days that followed, Elliot's name went viral. Talk shows begged for interviews. His face was on every screen. But he didn't want the spotlight. He went back to his life, back to solitude, back to silence. Until Vanessa knocked on his door. She wasn't dressed in designer heels or flanked by security. She came alone, holding a letter. She offered him something her father never did respect. She didn't just thank him. She gave him a new role, one that honored his past and secured his future. Head of security at Sterling Tech, not as a gesture, but as a symbol. She told him he wasn't invisible anymore. Elliot didn't smile for the cameras. He didn't post a thing. But in that moment, standing beside the woman he'd protected, once in war and once in court, he felt something deeper than fame. He felt seen. When the system failed, he stood. When money turned to silence, he spoke. And when no one else showed up, he did. Before we close this chapter, let us know in the comments, where you're watching from, we read every single one. If this story spoke to you, like the video, subscribe, and tell us what part hit you the most.